it's Ben Housel here, and here in this tutorial we're going to be having a look at the YouTube pack. And this video is sponsored by Digital Products 669, and in this tutorial we're going to be having a look at some of the logo reveals, some of the transitions, and some of the different ways you can control the plugin, which is really useful if you're creating YouTube videos and you don't have time to design your own custom openers, your own transitions and stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and have a look at one of the logo reveals, which is going to show you how the plugin works, how easy it is to customize things, and also how you can save a lot of time by using the YouTube pack. Thanks again to Digital Products 669 for sponsoring this video. This video will be useful if you're interested in buying the plugin, and we're going to have a look at some of the features, how it functions, and talk about the usability of it. And then also, if you're just brand new to plugins, it's also going to be a useful tutorial for looking at how plugins link in with the built-in features in Final Cut Pro 10. So if you're interested in finding more tips and tricks of Final Cut Pro, or just learning more about the software in general, then hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. I'm posting regular videos that deal with different topics from beginner level to more advanced level topics in Final Cut Pro 10. But without further ado, let's dive in and have a look at how we work with this plugin to create a logo reveal in Final Cut Pro 10. So we're going to dive in here and have a look at a couple of these logo reveals in the YouTube pack. Now, in the YouTube pack, if you come into your generators, you'll see that once you've installed it, you have a whole bunch of different generators for everything that you need on YouTube. So you have different end screens, and we can kind of see the preview of those here. We have different logo reveals, and these are what we're going to look at, and some lower thirds, some side info generators for having longer sections of text on screen, and then also some titles as well that we can use for our YouTube projects. Now, the logo reveals are nice. We're going to be having a look at how we can customize these in terms of the color, and also in terms of removing things like the background so that we can fit them with our video. And these are really useful if you want to create a quick branded stinger or opener for your YouTube videos. I know for me, I was always wanting to do a branded YouTube intro, and using the YouTube pack made it really easy for me to create one that I can use in my tutorial videos. So let's flip to a new sequence where we don't have any of the generators added, and we're going to have a look at how we add these. So you can see my logo reveals here, as with my end screens, are all numbered here. And once we drag them down to the timeline, if we just grab an end screen, for instance, here, then all the controls that we have are up in the inspector on the top right. So the first thing we'll need to bring up before we get started is the inspector if you don't see it. So we're going to go to Window, Workspaces, and click Default, and that will mean that we're all looking at the default workspace in Final Cut Pro. And I'm just going to reorganize things a little bit here so I can see a little bit more of my inspector across on the right hand side. If your inspector still doesn't show up, then just go to Window, Show in Workspace, and check the inspector, and that will bring it up. And you can see once we've got one of our generators down on the timeline, we have a whole bunch of different options on the right hand side of the inspector. Now, to limit the amount of scrolling we need to do down here, we're just going to double click up at the top of our inspector, and that will lengthen the inspector out to the full height of your screen, so we can kind of see more clearly all the different text elements and color options that we have in this plugin. So we're going to delete our end screen option here and come back to our generators, and we're looking for our logo reveal, and specifically logo reveal 13, and we're going to dive in here and have a look at this one. So we'll drag this down to the beginning of our timeline, and basically once we've dragged it down, what you'll notice with the logo reveals is that they play through, animate on, and then there's a nice hold at the end so that we have our logo reveal and nicely on screen. So once we've got this on screen, we'll just bring our playhead ahead in time to where the logo is animated on, so where the animation is finished. And this is where we want to add our text in here. So we're going to use this fictional text here of Ben's surf trips. And you'll notice a couple of different spots for editing text once you start to use plugins. So we have our type options here, and then also we have type options across in our regular type editing window. So these are the published motion parameters that you get when you're using a plugin that's created in Apple Motion. So we're going to be working between these two tools, but things like the alignment and the layout of our type for the YouTube pack is all done in the published parameters, and then things like the font and stuff is all done in the regular type tools. So actually we're going to change our font here. We're going to go to our 2D styles, and so we can still use all the kind of regular 2D styles and everything that we have in Final Cut Pro in our plugin. So we can choose any font color that we want in here. So we'll come back to our type tools once we've changed this kind of grunge look, which fits the surf sort of vibe, and we're going to type in a web address here. Okay, and just looking at the text specifically here on our logo reveal, you can see we've got a couple of different options. So we've got some scale options for our logo, and then below our text we've got some scale options for the text itself. So if we increase the size of the text for the main text here, we'll bump this right up, and then we'll also increase the size of the text for the logo below there. We can also offset the text as well. So you can see here below each of the text options we have left and right offset, so the X value, and then up and down offset, the Y value. So we're going to just pull this type away from our top line by using the Y value offset here, and then we'll push this across to the right. So you can lay out your type, so you've got lots of control in the YouTube pack for laying out your type exactly as you want it, and you can see the animation will still work perfectly even once we've modified or offset the type. So we've modified a couple things here for the scale, for the type, and now if we come to the logo itself, there's a couple of things to kind of note about the logo. So when you're working with logos, basically you're dropping a JPEG or a PNG into your logo here. So we have our drop zone across on the right hand side, and it's into this drop zone that we're going to drop in a couple of different types of logos so we can see how they work. So if we come to our graphics and logos across on the side, you can see here I've got two images, one JPEG image which is just a flat photograph, and one PNG image which looks like a black image, but the reason for that is for the tinting feature that we have in our logo reveal in the YouTube pack. So if we right click here, we're going to go to Reveal in Finder. Now I've created this in Photoshop, but basically it's a PNG, and I've bumped the contrast in Photoshop, but all this area around the black is completely transparent. So I've made a transparent PNG. So that's something to kind of look at how to do with your logos if you want to use the tint feature in the YouTube pack. So if we just come back to Final Cut Pro, now with our logo reveal selected, if we drag on the image onto the right hand side there into our drop zone, you'll see we'll just get this kind of block of color, and that's because it's got the tint feature on there. So there's a couple of options up here in the color options that you'll need to pay attention to if you're dropping a logo into your animation. So we need to turn off the logo tint for this one, and you can see now once we've positioned that logo in there without the tint, then we just get the original color of the logo, and we can increase the scale of the logo so that it fills that kind of rounded rectangular shape, and we can also pan as well. So if you've got a logo that doesn't quite fit when you place it in the first instance, you can scale it and then offset it so that it fits perfectly into that. You get the animation happening and the type popping on. Now I'm going to shorten this, and we'll just grab this edited version of our generator. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key on the keyboard and just drag across. And in this one, we are going to replace the image, so the photographic image, with a PNG image, so we can see how it works. So I'm going to click and drag this across. Okay, so now you can see I've got a black and white image there, which is black with the transparency. And now when I turn the logo tint back on, I get the nice tint of the logo. We can get this to kind of, so I'm using the offset space as well here again to get this into just the right spot. So again, we can see once that's popped in there, we get some nice animation of that happening. So those are some real quick ways of modifying some of the basic elements in this logo reveal. We can also modify things like the background color here, so the gradient in the background. So we'll just come ahead in time. So if we come across to our gradient A and gradient B, gradient A is the start of the gradient, so we can drop down our color arrow here and pick out a different color, and then select a different color on the right hand side as well. And we can also, for these color blocks, click once as well if we want to work with, for instance, say the hue, saturation or brightness. So maybe we want to keep the same purple tone that we have here, but we just want to make it a little bit darker on the right hand side. So that's using the color box here, just clicking on that once, and then you have these other different color wheels. Also, when we're in this window, we can use the color picker too. So if we click on the color picker down at the bottom of our colors window, and we can move anywhere. In fact, if we move ahead in our video, we can move anywhere in our video to select color. So if we like some of the red of this sunset, we can now use that as part of our logo reveal on the right hand side. So let's use that gradient B option for the red of the sunset, and we'll come ahead in time with gradient A selected, and we'll grab kind of some of the darker reds there. Okay, so you can see we've got two very close kind of sunset reds there, and now when we come back we'll have a very subtle gradient from left to right, and we can kind of accentuate that with the same tone by working with the saturation and brightness. So if you've got colors that you need to input there, then once you're on your sliders here, we can come to the RGB sliders, and we can actually enter any value between 0 and 255, which would be the RGB values that you would have, for instance, for your corporate colors or something like that. So we've got complete control over our colors there. We've also got complete control in here over the tint for our logo too. So if we come to the logo, this is the tint color up at the top. So if I select that, I can modify the tint of that to any color that I want. So if I have a set of colors that I need to use to kind of match my branding, then I can use those colors or enter those values as RGB values here. So we've got a great level of control over lots and lots of different elements here. We also have some options for the overall kind of logo position, so where we want to position the logo. And this is useful if we have a background image that we want to line things up with. So we have a gradient background in the background here, but actually if we come to background 1 and background 2, background 1 at the moment is this gray at the beginning, and background 2 is our gradient. If we turn both of these off, then we'll reveal the image in the background. So you can see now when my logo is animating, it's animating over the top of this image. So we have the animation and then the logo popping into place there. Now I kind of like how the logo falls over the hat on the left, but I want to put the type across to the right hand side in this space over here. So if I actually come to my offsets, okay, I'm going to first of all offset my type a bit more. So both lines of my type, I'm going to offset them to this kind of area here, lift them up a little bit so that we're kind of in the middle of this hat and over in this space on the right hand side. Now we can also mix this with some effects to the background layer too. So if we want this type to be a bit more visible, we can select our background layer and drop down the opacity, which will make it darker so the text becomes more visible. Or we can jump into our effects and use one of our video effects. So for instance, in the color effects, we could use a colorized tint to add a tint to the background. So that will allow us to kind of mix this logo animation with a tinted color in the background. So we'll just select a couple different colors here. So we'll remap the blacks to this magenta, and we'll go for the whites to this green, and then just drop down the brightness a bit so that text stands out a bit more. And we could also add other effects in the background too as well to make it stand out that little bit more. So we might add in a Gaussian blur, which will help to kind of break up the background as well. So you can see now we've got the logo animation over our video, and we could even come in and animate that Gaussian blur as the text animates on. So if we come to where the text needs to be nice and crisp and clear, somewhere around about here, we can keyframe the amount of Gaussian blur between here and here. So we'll get a little animation, and once the text comes on, then we get this nice kind of combination of effects on our video and also of the animated YouTube pack plugin over the top. So that's a brief overview of how to use one of the plugins in the YouTube pack. A lot of the other plugins, I've been playing with them a little bit, are very similar. When you kind of work on the different controls within those other packs, you'll find they're really easy and straightforward to kind of use. So if we drag on other options here, you'll see you have the same logo drop zone, and then also different options for the text tracking and offset and colors, so that you can kind of match everything up to the colors that you want. One tip for colors is that if you do choose a color that you like, so for instance if we have something like this purple, then we can click on the box here and drag it into our collection of colors at the bottom here, which means that when we come into another element here, so the logo or color 1 for instance here, we can select that same purple and it will match up with what we have in other parts of our video. So this is a really useful tool in the colors box for actually matching between different branding elements that you're using in your video edits. So thanks for watching this video. If you're interested in anything to do with Final Cut Pro, Apple Motion, or have questions, then please do hit the subscribe button and the notifications button. And a big thank you to Digital Product 669 for sponsoring this video, and I look forward to seeing everyone on the next tutorial.